I hadn't done a live in a little bit, so I wanted to hop on and say hello to everyone and see how everybody is doing. Um, just kind of wanted to check in since it's been a little bit. So I hope you guys are all doing well. And we were just going to do a little bit of hanging out here. The weather is getting really nasty outside. We are supposed to get some serious rain. Um, both today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, I know for sure, is directly related to the um, the hurricane that is now hitting down south. So those of you who have family or friends down there, please make sure that you check on them and make sure that they're okay. I can't even imagine what that's like. So please keep those people in your thoughts and your prayers. But no, I just wanted to jump on and check in with everybody because it's been a minute since I've done. Hello, Bud Files. Welcome. You always come to my lives. I never get to catch you guys when you do one. So thank you for stopping in. But if you hear any loud barking this afternoon, it's because the dogs do not like the storms and they're pretty mad about the thunder that we've had. But I just wanted to catch up with life because it's kind of gotten crazy. This is my second day off now. It's been a busy time at work. We have a lot of drivers all over the place. I'm honestly glad I'm off today because trying to get things coordinated when storms like this happen is pretty chaotic. I've been through that experience before, and it's not fun for anybody. For those of us in the office and for the drivers as well. So we're trying to get everybody out of the Houston area. I know they do it. My company does an amazing job of getting people moved quickly. So I hope everybody can get out safely because I know things get really chaotic when storms like this happen. Um, yeah. So anyway, let's see what else is going on. So I wanted to share some cool stuff in my life. Um, so I have this big purse that I carry around um, all of the time. Hello, Tesso. Thank you for coming in. Um, but I have this big, huge purse that I carry around because I carry a lot of stuff with me when I go to work. So I tend to carry like way too much stuff around with me when I'm going to work. So I'm working on carrying a smaller purse when I'm off. I know that sounds really silly, but yeah. So this is the purse that I carry on a regular basis. Um, and, hello from Georgetown, Texas. Welcome in. Welcome in, Grace. I'm glad you're here. I hope you are safe down there. I'm sorry, my Texas geography is terrible. I hope you are not anywhere near the storm. Please be safe. I'm sure you guys are getting a ton of rain and everything else from the storm, even if you're not close to it. So be safe. Um, but yeah, so I'm switching to a smaller purse on my off days. So I'm super excited. It just came. Um, Macy's was having a huge clearance sale. So this is going to be my new purse for when I'm off. So I'm super excited about that. And then Huxley is here. Huxley, do you want to say hi to people? Come here. Come here. Let's say hi. Let's see if I can get him for you guys. Come here. Come here. Oh, come here, buddy. This is my Huxley. Yes. Say hi. No, not to me. Say hi to everyone else. Say hello. Yes. He's being ultra affectionate right now because he does not like the storms and he's really nervous. So, but this is my Huxley. He's one of our rescue babies. Yeah, I know. I know. I will put you down. There you go. It's okay. Um, so um, I will, hi, Yuka. Nice to see you. Um, hi, Natalie. Yeah, Huxley is my special little guy. You'll probably hear him barking here as the storm picks up. But anyway, um, I just want to check in and say hello. And then we will um, we continue on. Sorry, people have to be rude, but either way, that's just life. I'm glad to see that the trolls are live and active as usual. That's always so exciting on YouTube to see the fun people that have nothing else to do. I, I guess that makes you cool if you get the trolls. So that's always the fun part of YouTube Live. But either way, I believe in being nice to people. If you can't, well then I guess you can't. But either way, we'll just move on. Um, so what else is going on? Like I said, work's been really crazy. We've been kind of shorthanded, so um, we've been kind of making the best of it with what we have. But if you don't know a whole lot about the trucking industry, there's a lot that goes on in the office, kind of behind the scenes, to make everything happen. And I think what we do in the office is kind of just basically support the drivers and make things happen for them. They're the ones out there doing the real work. But it's difficult. I'm in the trucking industry, Natalie. I don't drive a truck, but I work in overnights doing overnight support um, for the trucking department or for the truck drivers out in my at my company. So we do safety, we take care of accidents, hours of service, things like that, um, and we handle anything that comes up along with things in in that. So it's kind of fun. I said never every day is a little bit different. Hi Rishi, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. But we handle all of the parts of the loads for the drivers, and we update them, and we um, basically handle any problems that they might have. So it's pretty fun. Like I said, every day is a little bit different. I don't get to know what's going to happen until it happens. So I'm from the United States. Thank you for coming in. And if you're interested, this channel is mostly a faith-based channel, but I do have my dogs on here at times. I do ASMR as well, and then I do talk about my life in the world of trucking, so that's kind of fun. Oh, you're from India. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have a lot of people actually that follow me from India, so I guess we're about 12, is it 12 hours difference mostly from the United States to India, so um, yeah, so it's interesting. We have some people in my office that work that are from India, and then we also have some people um, who drive for us that are originally from India. Natalie, yes, I would say it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a helpline. We do everything that they need done on the office side at night. Normally during the day, you'll have a lot of, you'll have all the departments there. You'll still have safety, you'll have the people that do the load planning, you'll have the dispatchers. Hi, Joyce, so nice to see you. We finally caught each other live. That's awesome. Um, we handle, so at night we have to do everything. We don't have breakdown, we don't have safety, we don't have anybody that supports us at night. It's just us. So we handle everything that comes up. So we are kind of the lifeline. And sometimes we're a therapist if drivers are having a bad day. They'll call in and talk to us about what's going on. I admire truckers. I could never go out there and drive. And so, hello, Rishi. So we just try to help them with whatever they need help with. I think the best part of my job is when somebody's having a really bad day or having something that's just really gone horribly wrong with what they're doing, and we can fix it and get them back on the road and get them back going and having a better day. That's probably the best part of my day. I don't always get to fix everything. We try. Sometimes there's stuff that's just not fixable, especially with breakdown. And I'm sure this is in every kind of job. There's just not a lot of people that want to work, especially at night. Working nights is hard, so um, we um, we try our best to get people service if they're broken down. So um, we we try to do the best if they have breakdowns or blowouts on like on their trailer tires and stuff. And it's hard to find service, especially in different parts of the country at night, because there's just not enough people that work that can do service on trucks and trailers at night. So sometimes people have to wait. It is a huge sacrifice, Natalie. I completely agree. They spend a lot of time away from their families. They spend a lot of time. A lot of them have kids that they don't get to see all the time. I mean, nowadays that you can FaceTime and things like that, they get to spend a little bit of time with their kids. Um, but yeah, it's a sacrifice, and it's hard to be away from your family for that long. So anyway, um, I appreciate the fact that they do what they do. So yeah, and I don't mind ever if they want to call and complain, because I get it. If I was away from my home, as long as those guys are, sometimes these guys are out. Hi, so it's nice to see you. Welcome in. Sometimes those guys are out months at a time, depending on what they want to do. We don't force dispatch at my company, so we let you go home whenever you need to. But there's guys that choose to be out for longer because you tend to make better money when you're out longer. And sometimes they're out 2, 3, 4 months at a time, and being away from your family that long is really, really, really hard. Um, oh, I did not know that about cricket. I don't honestly follow cricket. I don't even understand it as a sport. I know it's really cool. I've watched it. It's really cool. But I've never actually like spent time. I should actually learn how that game works, because it is really cool. I admire it. It's a very athletic game. That's really awesome. And I know it's popular on so many places. It's not huge here in the United States, though it's getting bigger. There's actually cricket fields not that far from my house, which I honestly was surprised that they were here, where I live in Missouri. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I should really follow up on that sport. That is a really cool sport. Um, I just never, I know soccer is huge worldwide too, and I never really. We have a team here now where I live in Missouri, and that's awesome. But and I want to go see them at some point. I've seen college level soccer, but I've never seen professional soccer. Of course, I've never seen professional hockey played either. I've been to football games, and been to I have been to baseball games, but that's it. Raja, to answer your question, I have spent time in prayer today, and I have spent time doing some Bible study as well. That's something that is important to me. I haven't journaled yet. I do that as well, but I will do that before I go to bed tonight. So that is something that is very important to me. I make time all the time, and I am a person that prays throughout the day. So that is something that is a big focus for me. Even if it's just a quick here, if I'm driving somewhere, and I thank God for getting me there safely. I'm a big person that prays throughout the day, because I think that's important. The more time we spend with God, the better, is my thought. So, and there's always lots to be thankful for being alive. Thankful for being woken up that day. Thank you for everything that God does for us. We should be thankful. So that's why I spend a lot of time with God as much as possible. So, um, if that's something that's important in your life, I hope that you guys are doing the same. So, um, anyway, so about my job a little bit more. Like I said, we kind of do the lifeline thing for guys when they call in. So, um, and there with the holiday last week, it was a rough week. Anytime there's a holiday, there's always a lot of struggle to try to get guys rolling and get guys going. So we always have to deal with that. So holidays are always fun, both for us in the office and the drivers. But that's cool. Fortunately, we don't have the major holidays that things shut down on, like Christmas and Thanksgiving. That gets really interesting, but the world still turns, even though there's holidays and people still have to get their stuff. It just becomes a little more difficult around the holidays. So, um, I have an MBA, to answer your question, and as far as what my education is, and I do know a lot about um, Oppenheimer. I have not seen the new movie, but I am aware of what he did in terms of contributing to some pretty destructive and violent world acts. But I don't talk politics on this channel, so I'm going to leave it at that. Um, I do know that as far as a scientist, he was a very educated and very impressive man as far as what he knew. But as far as politically, I don't talk politics on this channel. So, um, yeah. So anyway, I've been working on some new stuff with videos, and I recently did a video with oh, so Natalie, as far as answering your question, I want to go to church, but I'm nervous to go by myself. Well, first of all, don't be nervous about going by yourself. There's lots of people that go to church by themselves. As far as getting started and finding a church, I think if you do a search online of churches that are close to you, that it depends on if you want a smaller church or a bigger church. I personally like a smaller church, just because I think it has you get better interaction with the people in the church. You have more access to talking to the pastor one on one. The bigger churches, the pastors are just so busy that you might wind up not being able to talk to them or get questions answered that you may have. Um, but I think starting a search online to find a church, that a lot of churches now have their own websites, pretty much everyone does, and they'll kind of tell you what their church service is like, what they have as far as resources, if they do Bible studies and things like that. You can kind of get a gauge of how big those churches are, and then um, you can sometimes they have people that will answer questions. I know one of the big things that people always ask is like what the dress code is. The church that I go to with my parents, the dress code is really laid back. There's people that are traditional and they'll show up dressed, in the women will come in dresses and the guys will come in suits. But there's also people that come in their work clothes. There's some people that come straight from work. So there's a gentleman that works at one of the local hospitals in the ER, and sometimes come straight from work in his scrubs. There's other people that will come in jeans and t-shirts, and the thought there is that you're there and that you're participating in the worship, not so much that you're there to be a fashion statement. So I kind of agree with that. When the churches that I went to when I was younger were very, there wasn't there wasn't like a strict dress code. It was just kind of the expectation that you dress nice. But I think the fact that most churches now are pretty laid back, they would rather you be there and be comfortable and not have to worry if you fit in or not. So I think I think that's important too. Um, my opinion about religion is that it's something that's very personal and it's very important. I think people need something that they believe in. I don't push my faith on anybody. I'm openly Christian and I openly talk about that, but I would never push my faith on it. I think in terms of why religion is important for society, I think you're welcome, Natalie. I wish you luck in your search. I really do. I hope, and don't feel bad if you get to a church and it's not for you. Not every church is for everybody. My parents moved to the church that they're at now from a really big church because they wanted the smaller church experience. That's what my dad had growing up, and that's what he was comfortable with. So don't feel bad if you get to a church and it's not for you. Maybe you don't like the style that the pastor has. Maybe you don't like how big it is. Maybe you don't like the fact that the congregation is not very interactive. Some people like a very interactive church service. Some people don't. So feel free to look around. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel guilty for doing that. You have to go to a place that's comfortable for you, or you're not going to want to go. So, but to answer your question about why religion is important for society, I think people, if you are following some type of faith, you tend to follow that faith's set of rules. So in Christianity, you would follow the Ten Commandments, you would follow the teachings of Jesus, and you would try to be a good person based upon what your faith calls you to be. And I think when people tend to monitor their behavior and how they treat other people, they tend to be more aware of how they treat others. And there's nothing wrong with treating people well. There's so much hate and so much just disrespect for people. You jump on YouTube Live and the trolls come out and say not so nice things. You go online and you post something, you share something about yourself and maybe somebody else randomly says something not nice about it. There's just so much disrespect and just dislike for other people that we need more love and respect in this world. And I think faith is a great place to get it, because if you're following your faith's expectations for you as a person, most faiths, not all, but most forms of faith, I I think teach people to be accepting and loving of other people. Um, yes, I think there's okay, so Hindu, yeah, definitely. I think I don't know a whole lot about Hindu, but I know um, that it is a very, very loving and accepting faith of all people. And Christianity tries to be as well. I know there are some branches of Christianity that try to not be as accepting as other people, and I totally disagree with that. I consider myself non-denominational. I grew up Presbyterian, but I consider myself non-denominational at this point because I don't get into the politics of organized religion. Um, and as a Christian, I believe that everyone is my brother and sister because they were all created by God, and all of God's creations are important and wonderful and should be loved and respected. So that's why I would never, ever, ever make fun of someone else's religion or faith or how they grew up. You know, I'm never going to tell somebody how to live their life. And I would hope that somebody wouldn't tell me how to live mine. But I would never tell someone that they're wrong for doing something or being who they are. They ultimately we are all in charge of what happens to our lives. And if you believe in a life after this one, which I do, if you believe that when you die you go have to be held accountable for your behavior, then it's not my place. It's not my place to judge what happens to you in your life. All I can do is love you as my brother and sister because you're created by God. And if someone wants to ask me questions about faith, I'm more than happy to share my faith with them. I'm more than happy to tell them what I think about God. And how I got saved and what's important to me, but I'm never going to tell somebody how to live their own life. Absolutely not. And I'm never going to judge somebody for how they live and what they do in their life. Life's too short for me to judge somebody else. I have enough to worry about for my own sins and my own things that I need to work on in my life. So that's one thing that I try to tell people about Christianity is that we're taught to love. That was the first thing that Jesus tells us, is to love other people. And that's the most important thing that Jesus has taught, is to love other people. And if you can't, then you just can't follow, you're not following what Jesus has taught us, and you have to love. Um, my opinion about India, I think India is an amazing and resilient country. Coming from the background of being under the British rule for so long, I think India has done an amazing job holding their own now and being independent, and the technology and the education and the welfare of the people over there has increased so much. I know there's still a lot to do over there. I know there's still a lot of poverty and struggle, and that people are still working to overcome that. But I think India is a pretty amazing and resilient bunch of people who really genuinely care about their country and being who they are and being proud of who they are, which I think is great. I think um, when you take pride in where you live and you care about where you live and you want the best for the people that live in your country, I think that's important. Not trying to get political, but I think every country, including where I live, has a lot to do. There's a huge homeless problem here. There's a huge poverty problem. There's a huge problem with addiction and mental health, and there's still a lot that needs to be done in this country. And I know it's the same in India as well. There's poverty and struggles that need to be overcome, and that's going to take a lot of work in both countries, and in every country. Every country has their share of struggles, and it takes people caring enough about their fellow human being to want to make a difference. You know, it's one thing to say, oh well, I gave some money or I did whatever, but it's about caring about people and wanting to do something about it and being part of the solution instead of being part of the problem. You know, ignoring it makes you part of the problem because you're not willing to do anything about it, and there's lots to do. So, um, I would love to travel sometime, but I am married and I have dogs to take care of, and that makes traveling a little difficult. I don't go anywhere without my better half. And I've gone on a few trips with family, but I don't typically go anywhere without my better half. So, but I appreciate that. I would love. I have seen some amazing things in India. I one of the people that works in our office is from India, and he recently got married and went back to India to get married, and we got to watch a lot of video from his wedding and just everything beforehand, and it was pretty awesome. So it's beautiful there. I really think it's a country that has a lot that people don't know about, and it's a country that people have a lot to learn from as well. So um, yeah, so this it's always fun when I get on live because I have plans on what I want to talk about, and it kind of goes all over the place, which is cool because there's so many different people. That's one thing that I love about YouTube is you get to meet people from all over the world. When I look at my YouTube where it breaks down like where people are from, I have a lot of people from the Philippines, the UK, India. Um, I have a few people from South America, different countries in South America. But yeah, it's fun to meet people from all over the world because I think everybody has a different view of the world, and that's awesome. I love to hear about what people are doing and what's important to people and what matters. Um, but ultimately, like I said, I think that if we all treated each other with a little bit of kindness and respect, the world in general would be a better place. So I need to get a drink, guys. I've been talking too much. So, but as far as life in general, I'm going to be working on some videos tonight. I'm going to try to do a nighttime live, an ASMR nighttime live. I will post on my community page if you follow me. Um, Hello, Louise. Welcome from Mexico. Mexico. Hey, awesome. Um, nice to see you here. Welcome. And oh, you're a student and you're preparing for the army. Well, I wish you the absolute best, and I will definitely keep you in my prayers. I admire anyone who does military service. My dad was in the Navy. His dad was in the Marines. So that's a awesome and um, very disciplined life that you have to be in service. So I wish you the best with that. I really do. Um, Yes, I'm going to do a live either tonight or tomorrow. We'll do an ASMR live. I've never, I've done one that kind of was just spur of the moment, but I'm going to try to do this as a planned one. And then, like I said, I'll be doing some more video recording tonight and tomorrow because I got to get some videos out for you guys. Um, and then, um, as far as anything else going on in life, we are supposed to have some horrible weather coming here tomorrow. It's supposed to drop like 2 to 4 inches of rain or something. So hopefully, hopefully that does not cause flooding here. Sometimes it does. Um, thank you. I really appreciate that. And may God bless you and give you a wonderful and long life as well and keep you safe. I really appreciate your kindness today. It's so awesome to talk to people from other places. Like I said, it's amazing how you can connect with people in social media and meet some of the nicest and most amazing people. Those of you who have come in, if you do have a channel, I try to follow, well, I do follow everyone who has a channel, and I try to reciprocate. If you watch me, I will watch you and give you support. We have to take care of each other. So um, just putting that out there. Um, Louise, I'm sure it's really, I don't know what you guys' weather is like in Mexico, but I'm sure you are dealing with the heat at least part of this summer like the rest of us are. So do take care of yourself. Um, yeah, it's been this weather that has been really crazy this year. There's just been a lot of heat waves and a lot of really kind of crazy weather. Where I live in Missouri, we kind of are a state that we get sometimes get all four seasons in one week. But we sort of missed spring this year and jumped right into summer, so it's been really hot, and that's been a challenge I know for a lot of people. So hopefully. Hopefully when we get to fall, we actually get to fall and it cools off a little bit. Though right now, it's the last couple of days, it's been in the 80s, which has been nice, but it's going to be back up in the high 90s by the end of the week, which is not fun. So I am truly grateful that I no longer work retail because I did not like working retail when it was summertime. That was probably the least favorite. I would rather it be cold than it be hot. So when I worked at Lowe's, and that's a big open warehouse all the time, the doors are always open. That was never fun in the summertime. So between the heat and the bugs, that was not a fun time. So I'm truly grateful that I have an office job now, and that I like what I do. So, um, yeah. So anyway, and the dogs have disappeared, so that's nice. It's quiet. Having dogs in the house is always an adventure when you have YouTube. You never know if they're going to start barking. I could be in the middle of a perfectly silent ASMR video, and the dogs will appear out of nowhere and start barking, and that's always a fun adventure because then I have to stop and restart and reset and do everything. So that always makes it fun. Yeah. So, but if you guys like the content, feel free to like and subscribe. I try to put out content 7 days a week, at least faith-based content, and then I put out ASMR and dog videos a few times a week. So feel free to like and subscribe. Um, and I am gonna hop off here and go get on stuff that I need to get done. But I hadn't done a live in a long time, and I missed it. So I wanted to pop on and say hello to everyone. So thank you, each and every one of you who stopped in, and those of you who said hello. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves.